Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Gotta Read 'em All, a Pokemon podcast. I'm Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is my co-trainer Jen Graves, and
Not
we are talking about Pokemon Adventures Chapter 2, Bulbasaur Come Home. That's right. We're back on the Pokemon train.
yeah.
If you don't remember what happened last time, or this is your first time listening because you're a fan of the Pokemans, we saw
Yeah.
Mew, Red and Blue met, and yeah, that's kind of what happened,
Blue,
And
Blue has his Charmander.
we're off to Professor Oak's house, or laboratory, I guess you could say, because Red needs some help training and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And Blue has his Charmander, so who will get the other two starters for this season?
Well, I'm guessing Red will get Bulbasaur because this is titled Bulbasaur Come Home.
Hey, you never know. Green could get Bulbasaur.
Well, we haven't met Green yet. We have not met Green. So our chapter starts out with Red ringing the doorbell, bing bong, and he's like, "What? Nobody's home? Oh, the place is open." He walks in, he sees Professor Oak's laboratory. It looks a little disheveled, just a little bit. There's
Yeah, and all
books
the
and
lights
stuff
and stuff are
everywhere.
off.
Yeah, there's books and stuff everywhere. And he's like, "Hey, I didn't realize there were so many different types of Pokemon." And he sees this Pokemon away from all the other Pokeballs. He picks it up. And he's like, "It's a Bulbasaur?" And I like it how Bulbasaur has his own little nameplate on his Pokeball.
Right.
I thought that was kind of cute. And you see Bulbasaur in there.
I wonder if it's a nameplate or a sticker.
Maybe, who knows? Like one of those label makers you have.
Yeah.
You're like, it's my food.
Right.
Don't eat my food. And yeah, and he's like, "Oh, look, Poliwhirl. It's Poliwhirl, right?
Yeah, Poliwhirl.
I always get Poliwhirl and Poliwag mixed up. Poliwhirl, and so he puts them up together, and he's like, "Look, it's a Bulbasaur, Poliwhirl. Look how cool that is." And you see like Bulbasaur, Poliwhirl talking in their Pokeballs and whatnot. And we get Professor Oak. Or do you want to take this next page?
Yeah. Then we have
Right.
kind of a creak coming out from the door, and Professor Oak comes out, and he accuses Red of being a Pokemon thief.
Yeah.
And I love his security system.
He has no security system.
His security system is all the Pokemon. So like, I guess either Red accidentally bumps into a button and it opens all the Pokeballs on the shelves,
Yeah, he
and
does.
every Pokemon that was caught basically comes out. We get a cool little sequence where we have a line of them. We have Kakuna, Pidgey, Metapod, Caterpie, Rattata, Poliwag, and Tentacruel.
Yeah.
And then from there we have a couple other Pidgeys and a Weedle.
Yeah.
And they all kind of jump out to attack him.
I really like this part where he's like, "You idiot!" Like,
Yeah.
Professor's like, "God damn it, I gotta go get all these Pokemon." Because there's a lot of Pokemon that come out of all the balls, because he accidentally releases all the balls, like, which is weird to think about. Like, they would all be connected to this one computer,
Yeah.
which is not normal. What we think is normal in the Pokemon world,
Right. Which this is there's another part that I like here, just because they don't depict things like this a lot in manga.
Oh, in the anime?
Just in manga or anything in general.
Yeah.
But we have where this Pidgey flies over Professor Oak and drops some bird poo on his face.
He takes a shit on Professor Oak's face.
Yeah.
I love the panel of him getting shit on, and he just has shit on his face. And he's like, I need you. He's like, God damn it. He's like, God damn it, get me my Pokemon back, you know? And you see
Right.
Red in the background trying to get all these Pokemon back into their Pokeballs, which is really funny. And I like it how it says later on, it's like, later, much later. So, like, how long did it take Red to get all these Pokemon back in their Pokeballs, you know?
Yeah. Well, I just think it's funny the panel after that. Professor Oak's still telling him he's a Pokemon thief, even though he helped, and he's saying, "Hey, I'll go get the rest of these Pokemon for you."
Yeah,
And he's like, "You're a Pokemon thief. Don't move."
yeah. And he's like, dang it, you're not gonna know what to look for. You know, I'm gonna have to go look for them myself. And the way this panel is drawn, it looks like Professor Oak is like too big for the bicycle he's using
Yeah.
in this panel. But like, why doesn't Red have a? Why didn't Red get a bicycle too? So Red's just gonna run the entire way to wherever they're trying to find these Pokemon.
I
You
guess
know,
so. Yeah.
but my question is, how does Professor Oak know where the Pokemon are going? Does he have them chipped and tagged with like tracking devices, or is he actually like tracking them like a hunter would track like a deer or something like that? You know?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like probably like all the Pokemon he has are probably local Pokemon, and so
Yeah.
he probably knows where they'd run back to.
Uh huh.
Which, if it's Pallet Town, then it should be like the Vermilion Woods
But
or the Viridian
to think about it
Forest,
though, why would they run off to begin with? You know, because he technically caught all those Pokemon.
because they're still wild. Well, like even though like, and this is a differentiation from like the show. We have a bunch of like in this, even after the Pokemon's caught, like they still don't like you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like for Ash in the show with Pikachu, like he never is able to put him in a Pokeball. He doesn't like him or anything else until after the ending of the first episode.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because you could catch a Pokemon and then it'd be like Ash's Charizard, where it's still a danger to you no matter what, just because of how it is.
But was it, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just going off of memory. Wasn't it if you got badges, or completed the gyms, like the Pokemon would listen to you more, kind of
Yeah,
thing, or is that,
higher level ones.
or am I just making that up?
No, yeah, it was higher level ones. You'd be able to catch higher levels more
Okay,
accurately.
okay. I was just curious if your Pokemon would listen to you more, stuff like that. Because I remember like sometimes if your Pokemon was a higher level and you didn't complete said gym, sometimes they wouldn't listen to you
Yeah,
in the game. And I know that sometimes Ash's Pokemon in the anime would not listen to him. Like Charizard wouldn't listen to him for the longest time,
right.
and some other ones had kind of their own. I think it was only Charizard, but I
Yeah,
can't remember if other ones did that as well. Uh, you know,
yeah.
it's hard to remember honestly because that was a long time ago when I watched that
A
show.
long time ago.
That was like over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's see.
Ugh. Oh,
Um,
all right. And so
they're they're in
we
the Viridian City.
yeah, they go all the way to Viridian City, which seems like a far way to go. Uh
Yeah. Which reading this one, I thought it was weird because in the first part here we have a Meowth that pops up.
yeah, Meowth wasn't in there. Was he?
Not that we saw,
Okay.
but I mean there were a bunch of Pokeballs on the shelves. But
Yeah.
I think it's funny that we go to this part and he catches a Meowth and then he goes to the Viridian City Gym.
But I like this part where he's like, "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty." Like he's trying to get Meowth to come
Yeah,
over, like an actual like house cat would, And but yeah, Professor Oak is like, man, I didn't would it. He's like kind of like I don't know if I would have done this if I knew I'd be chasing them all the way to Viridian City. So I'm guessing it was kind of a long way for him. Who knows? But we see
Oh yeah,
Bulbasaur, huh?
yeah, because they were in Pallet Town, so
Yeah, they were in Palatown.
it was I think 2 or 3 routes for them to get
Yeah,
here.
yeah, something like that. And
Yeah,
Bulbasaur runs off into the Viridian City Gym. The Viridian City Gym is closed. If you know anything about this particular gym, you know the reason why it's closed.
right.
You know, which I'm surprised they were even able to get into the gym, because the gym should be locked up. You know,
Yeah,
but we see uh, Bulbasaur cowering in kind of like a corner. The gym is all dark and dingy, and there's cobwebs everywhere. The place is all boarded up, uh,
I,
and
I just think this part's funny right here, where
oh, he's
Professor
like,
Oak
he's
Professor Oak
like,
gets to him.
he's like, come to daddy,
Yeah,
and then he like spears Professor Oak, and he's like, dang it, I'm your trainer, you know. So Bulbasaur attacks um, Professor Oak. What
yeah.
happens after Bulbasaur attacks Professor Oak? I love that section because like it just looks really funny.
Then we have Red come up and try his hand at talking to Bulbasaur, and he calms him
Yeah.
down. Which I don't know if you've gotten it to it yet, reading it, but how everybody has like their own like little superpower thing.
No, I don't think I've gotten to that part yet.
Okay, well, there's a part where they talk about people's traits, and
Uh huh.
every Pokédex holder or whatever has their own specific trait
Yeah.
that means something or does something for
Uh huh.
Pokemon. And I think Red's is like instant calm, like with
Like
Pokemon.
he can calm them down if they're anxious or scared type of
Yeah,
thing. Like
yeah, it's like
sort of
a
like
weird trait that he has.
you like sort of like comforting them in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like, and it really seems like Digidestined ish from like Digimon, but you have like I think they reveal it after we meet like the third set of trio that come out, but
Yeah.
they actually bring it up and they say how everybody has like their trait. And I think this is another time that we see that Red is actually the person that can sit there and talk to like all Pokemon and just calm them down like almost instantly.
Yeah. Kind of like what Ash does or tries to do at some points in the anime.
Yeah,
Yeah, where he's like, "Come on, Oh,
yeah.
you know what other Pokemon didn't listen to him? Primate didn't listen to him
Oh, that's true.
when he had Primate.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah, but out of nowhere, a Machoke shows up, which I don't know why there's a Machoke in the Viridian City Gym, just loose, doing whatever, and they're
This
like,
is
"Oh my
true. Huh.
god."
Must be a bodyguard or something.
Maybe like a bodyguard, who knows?
There must
But
be more going
he's
on here than what we know.
he's trying to attack. Well, they say it's a wild Machoke in the comic or in the manga, and we get this
Yeah.
scene. Go ahead.
Uh, well, I mean, we just don't actually know if that is or not
Yeah,
because they might be thinking that because it doesn't have a trainer around it.
true. And he tries to attack Red and Professor Oak, and Bulbasaur restrains uh, Machoke with his vine whips. And I like this next scene. This next scene's really fun, to where um, Red is like, Professor, what's Bulbasaur's like best attack? And Professor Oak is like knocked out. He's got like
Yeah,
X's. He's got like X's on his face. He's
yeah.
like,
Gurgling at the
like
mouth.
yeah, yeah. Oh, He is foaming. He is
Yep,
foaming at the mouth.
that's what he's doing right there.
But I like this scene where so the Machoke is trying to fight Bulbasaur and Red and like kill Red basically, and Red's kind of like trying to figure out what to do, and this is where we kind of get some of his street smarts a little bit, where he goes up to one of the boards, or on accidentally goes up to one of the boards and sees light coming through, and he opens the board to let Bulbasaur. Um,
Yeah, because he brings up at one point he goes, "What am I going to do next? I can't figure that out." And then it says, "Wait, he has a bulb on his back."
yeah, like a plant.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he opens it up and he's like, "Try this," and like this beam of light comes through the building, and Bulbasaur uses his solar beam attack. Bulbasaur, solar beam,
oh no, not Texas accent again.
and then Machoke dies. We're just saying to say Machoke dies by the solar beam. You know,
He doesn't pass out; he just dies.
he just dies.
You're dead.
Well, I don't know. Do they die in the manga versus the anime? You know?
Uh, I don't think so. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. Well, I mean, like everybody dies in the video game and everything because they most likely get eaten for food. So
yeah, true. But next, uh, after Bulbasaur saves them from the Machoke, um, we get this scene where Professor Oak, which I like, where he's like, "How did you know that Bulbasaur knew Solar Beam?" He's like, "Well, I figured since it was a plant, the sunlight and the energy stuff would, maybe help power him." So
yeah,
Red doesn't even know about Solar Beam.
no, that's kind of the funny part.
Yeah. So you want to take this part?
Oh yeah, so they're talking about it, and Professor Oak gives Bulbasaur to Red.
Yeah.
It tells him he's basically taken a liking to him, and that he thinks that he should continue his journey with Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
and he Red takes this time now that Professor Oak's kind of calm, and he wants to tell him like, "Hey, I didn't actually break into your lab. I wasn't trying to steal anybody. I was just trying to come talk to you so that you could teach me how to be a better Pokemon trainer." And he brings up and tells him the whole story from our chapter 1 about Team Rocket and seeing
And the
Mew.
Mew. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Mew.
and all that stuff.
And he gives him a Pokédex. And
Yeah,
he's like, "Hey, take this Pokédex. You're gonna have to go out of your territory and find all these Pokemon if you want to be a good Pokemon trainer, and help me like encyclopedia and learn about all these Pokemon for me." And he tells him that where does he tell him he wants? Oh, he's like, "Hey, you should go to the Viridian Forest north of the city, because that's where." And he kind of stops, and he's like, he kind of is very vague about what's over there or what potentially is in the forest. So we get a little foreshadowing, kind of what might exactly be, um, like what Red might be in for, looking for
yeah,
said Pokemon that he's looking for.
yeah,
And I like this part where he's like, he forgets to go get Pokeballs. And he's like, "Oh
yeah,
well, I'll just have these Pokeballs." So like, I guess he was low on Pokeballs at points, because from the
yeah.
last chapter, where he probably just dropped all of his Pokeballs and didn't pick them up, right?
Must have because he was carrying like a whole bunch of them.
He was carrying like 20 to 30 Pokeballs in that first chapter.
Yeah,
And
but I
our
like this. I like this part too, where
yeah,
Professor Oak tells him that he's on his road to being one of the greatest Pokemon trainers.
potentially,
There.
because
Yeah,
you know, he tells Professor Oak tells Red that you don't need like a powerhouse Pokemon in your thing. You need to like have compassion and stuff like that, and some
Yeah.
might say the power of friendship.
Yeah. Like your
You
your
know,
Pokemon will become stronger based off of
yeah,
how you treat them and everything.
yeah, which is foreshadowing for maybe how Blue treats his Pokemon.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
But
So
yeah, go ahead.
so I mean I like this one, this chapter of Pokemon Adventures and stuff. Um Obviously because we pick up Bulbasaur
Yeah,
and everything, and it just seems really nice and neat to actually get to know Red more,
yeah.
and how it's easy for him to connect with Pokemon and whatnot.
Yeah, and so he's going off to the Viridian Forest, him and Poliwhirl and Bulbasaur, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're a team now," you know. And
Yeah,
we get more insight into the world of Pokemon. We get to meet Professor Oak. Professor Oak is kind of a little different than the depiction of the anime Professor Oak. He seems to be a little bit more agitated at points.
yeah,
With Red. In normal, he's kind of a not like a goofball kind of, or like a very like
yeah.
I don't know how to put it.
It, he's he
He's more of
tries
a
to be serious, but it doesn't come off that way.
Yeah, he's more of a character. He seems more like to be more of a character in this, not like a exposition dumping character in the from the anime. Because we don't get a lot of Professor Oak in the anime as is. So
Right. Yeah, because we get I know we'll get a lot of him in this as a character and how things go on and all that.
yeah, but now we're going off to go to the Viridian Woods to potentially catch more Pokemon. And
Yeah.
find out what's gonna happen.
So since we finally gotten to this part of the book
Uh huh.
where Ash has or Ash where Red has
Red.
actually received his very first starter Pokemon.
Uh huh.
Uh, so you've played the video game and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was your first starter in the video games and stuff?
Um. Are we talking about just the original generation?
Yeah, it
It was Squirtle.
was Squirtle.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started out with Charmander and then uh slowly gravitated over to just playing with Bulbasaur. And
Yeah.
I think part of that was influenced because my dad actually played it as well,
Uh huh.
and so he had a Charmander. I think that's probably why I picked that. But I've always really enjoyed having the Bulbasaur as my main guy, and
Uh
so it
huh.
was really funny reading this and knowing like how fast I went from playing with this Charmander and everything to actually playing a Bulbasaur, and then finding out that Bulbasaur was Red's first starter
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Well, I really liked Squirtle because of the Squirtle Squad, and he would always wear
Yeah,
his glasses, his sunglasses. So that's
yeah,
why I kind of went after Squirtle in the game because I was like, oh, Squirtle's cool, you know.
yeah,
But I think I would switch it up occasionally, and like if I would replay it, I would pick a different starter just to
yeah.
try
So
him out.
yours was influenced
Yeah,
based off
Uh,
of the show.
yeah, it was based off the show. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I had no idea of it, because we played it before the show came out.
yeah,
Um, so that was a little odd, I would say, but I think it's kind of weird, like whenever people get in conversations about their starters and what they would pick, because most people are
can,
like, "Oh,
can
I'm
I
a Charmander."
Can I just say, people take that a little too seriously sometimes.
They do. I
Not to go
think,
off topic, but you know,
yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I think, and they're like, oh, Charmander's the best,
like you see those TikToks of where they put the Pokemon in front of the babies, and the babies choose which starter they want, and I mean, and really, in reality, it's just the whole rock paper scissors scenario
That's true. That's
when
true.
it comes to the
Well,
Pokemon.
I did that for shits and giggles. So,
Yeah, like it's yeah, I don't know. I didn't do that. Like, my kid's a Eevee fan, so she likes Eevee.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
funny.
she likes Eevee, and then like, cause she's been building the model kits,
Yeah,
and she's got like the bunny rabbit one and Pikachu and Eevee. Like, those are the ones that she likes.
yeah,
But yeah, I like this. Going back to the manga, I liked this this chapter. We're after these first two chapters, our world is getting more broad and expanding more into the world of Pokemon. Red's finally going off on his journey. You know, and we're going to find out what exactly happens to Red and his Pokemon and what Pokemon he's gonna get and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It's like he's off his leash to be
right,
like, yeah, I'm officially a Pokemon trainer now.
right,
I just said I was one before, but in reality, I wasn't. you know,
right.
I was just like um,
I was a
how do you,
small
a
town kid.
small town, a big fish in a small town, or supposed big fish in a small town.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like it. I like the introduction of Professor Oak. He's really funny in this, and I that part where he gets shit on is really funny. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
yeah,
I wasn't expecting that whatsoever for him to get shit on. But I remember when I first read that, I was like, "Oh, that's fucking hilarious!" And I read it again. I was like, "Still funny, still funny." Because just seeing his reaction, he has like the shit all on his face, and he's
yeah,
talking to Red with the shit still on his face.
yeah.
It reminds me of like an old cartoon, like a Looney Tunes or like a Tom and Jerry type of cartoon.
That's true. Well, it kind of makes me think of because the only other or the Pokemon, the only other manga I've ever read that actually like talks about like poop jokes and whatnot.
Uh huh.
Well, I guess yeah. There's just one. I was thinking, but the other one was in an anime. Um, would be Doctor Slump with Arlie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, yeah. But this manga was good. This chapter was good. I enjoyed it. I like that he gets his first official Pokemon. It's not one that his family owns. And
Which
we
isn't
go
that
from
kind of weird? It seems like that's where a bunch of them actually lie. Is that it's based off of what their family owns?
yeah. I mean, we get that in the anime as well, kind of. I think.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I feel like we do have that in the anime because I mean, like one of the earliest ones we know of is like James from Jesse and James actually has like a Growlithe at home,
Yeah. Doesn't
and
Brock aren't the Pokemon that Brock has from like his parents?
I think so. I think they just Onyx. I don't think the
Okay.
Geodude is. The Onyx was
Okay.
actually like a hand me down
Okay.
Pokemon to him because I think Onyx was his dad's. And then Misty's Staryu or Stormy, I think one of them was passed down from her family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, we kind of get this tradition of like, I guess the friendship is already like built up with certain Pokemon.
Yeah.
And because they're family based ones, and you have to go from there.
Mm-hmm.
But, we have this kind of other divergence off of, hey, what if you had to try and have everybody,
Yeah.
um, and you build those friendships. I think that's another thing I like with this manga is they build their friendships while they're going.
Yeah.
Because we kind of get the same thing of where different Pokemon act like assholes at different parts.
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah, and this next chapter looks like it's going to be really good with expanding on the Pokemon and whatnot, because in this next chapter, we're going to be dealing with Red and Blue are going to be meeting up again. So
yeah,
slight spoilers on that one. And the next one we will be going into is chapter 3, which is the secret of Kangaskhan. Or did I say that right? Kangaskhan?
yeah, Kangaskhan.
I said that right? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I couldn't remember. All right.
I just had to think about it earlier when you're like, I can't. It kick me a hand.
Well, when I was reading it, I was reading something different in my head because normally I hear it like
Yeah,
I hear Kangaskhan, and then when I was reading it earlier, I was like, Kangaskhan? Like I
right.
read it out loud, like I was a little confused.
Yeah,
It
no,
didn't.
it's hilarious.
It didn't. When I was reading it, it didn't sound like that in my head.
Yeah,
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 but yeah. I enjoyed this chapter, and I'm looking forward to reading more
right.
of this. I thought it was very fun. Artwork is still top notch.
Yeah,
I'm curious though, because eventually this artist leaves the book. I'm
yeah,
curious if I'll continue to like the art when the new artist comes onto the book, but we'll have to
yeah.
see.
Hmm.
Because I think they finish up this story arc, and then I think Yellow's story arc, and then they don't come back to the book
Oh, okay.
because
Hmm.
they get like sick.
I don't think I noticed that.
Yeah, it was a thing that I ended up reading about
Oh,
while
cool.
researching the manga, because they get like really sick, and the mangaka had two choices to the writer did, because it's a team,
Yeah,
to continue to finish the book with a new artist or cancel the book. So we'll have to see how I feel about when I think they get to Chris Gold and Silver or Crystal or something is when the next artist shows up.
yeah,
We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, this was good. I'm looking forward to their next episode where we um, read this, because I'm reading it as we go along each episode. Like
right.
I read this in the past, like a year or so ago, and then like I kind of put it down, so I don't really know what's going to happen in the book. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't remember what happens.
But
But yeah,
all the listeners out there, stay tuned for the next exciting adventure.
adventure,
I almost said episode. I was like, we might as well just go with the theme of adventure.
adventure.
Be like the misadventures of Flapjack. Adventure. But stay tuned for the next exciting adventure of the Gotta Read 'Em All podcast. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday.
Thanks for listening, guys.